Everybody's already made up their mind about joekent, and that's exactly the problem. Right now, people are picking sides, pushing narratives and reacting emotionally before we even have the full picture. And I think we can do better than that. I'm a former SOT-A from 5th Special Forces Group before I went to operator selection for a Tier 1 Special Missions Unit, where I spent majority of my career in special operations doing operations against the Islamic Republic, the IRGC, and the Quds Force, and their many proxies throughout the region and the world. So for full transparency, I knew joekent. I was at the same Tier 1 Special Missions Unit with both him and his wife, and they had a great reputation of being good people. And Joe was always seen as a man of character. But beyond my personal experience, I need you to understand who he is professionally. Joe was a Green Beret before coming to the ISA. And then after that, he served in Ground Branch, which is the CIA's elite paramilitary wing. And that's not a normal career path. That's someone who's operated the highest levels, special operations and intelligence communities. And he's widely respected in both. I want to be very clear, that doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. In fact, I don't agree with his current stance on Iran. But that's exactly why this conversation matters. On one side, you've already got people accusing him of leaking information and believing that was one of the reasons why he resigned. On the other side, you've got people immediately defending him, using this as proof that the system is broken or politically motivated. No hesitation, no pause, no analysis, just instant judgment. Let me show you what I mean.
Why would he name someone to run the counterterrorism center who he thought was weak on security?
The president gave joekent a chance. He thought he was a good guy with good military experience, and unfortunately, he proved he was not up for the job.
Multiple sources told CBS News last night that Kent is under investigation by the FBI in connection with the leaking of classified documents. Sources say that this investigation predates Kent's decision to resign this week.
Now here's the other side.
The Iranians didn't attack us. They were engaged in negotiations with us. When President Trump came back into office, they stopped their proxies who were attacking us under the Biden administration because they knew Biden was weak.
Where's the lie? But seriously, for the people calling him an anti-Semite for stating the things that he's stating, where is he lying? Where is the deception? What's inaccurate about what he's saying?
These are two completely different realities being pushed at the exact same time. And people are already choosing which one to believe based on what they already thought. And that's confirmation bias. We don't wait for information anymore. We don't wait for the truth. We react to narratives. And here's something that needs to be said clearly. Right now, these are allegations, not conclusions, not facts, allegations. And just because somebody is being investigated does not mean they're guilty. And everybody who follows my channel knows that I've been through something very similar myself. I was the subject of a failed investigation by the government. And I can tell you firsthand, being investigated does not equal being guilty. We are supposed to be a society built on one principle, that you are innocent until proven guilty. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Because if you go back, joekent himself has even said in the past that Iran and its proxies were a major threat.
Most Americans aren't aware of it. Our troops in Iraq and Syria have been attacked 150 plus times by Iranian proxies. And when we say Iranian proxies, we got to be clear on what that is. That's the Iraqi government that we pay. Because after the Iraqi military, we spent $2 trillion on, surrendered to ISIS, we had to go back in there in very short order and stand the military back up again. And guess who filled the breach? The Shia militias controlled by Iran did. And the Iraqi government's controlled by Iran.
So now people are asking, why did he change his stance? And that's a fair question. But instead of asking it, people are weaponizing it. But here's the reality. People are allowed to change their views, especially when they're exposed to new information, new roles, or even different responsibilities. And just as important, he's entitled to his own opinion, and he can change that opinion. Those opinions, like anybody else's, are shaped by his experiences. The same way your opinions are shaped by your own experiences. And let's be honest, political posturing exists on both sides of the aisle. So before we jump to conclusions, we should at least try to understand the why behind the shift. And the truth is, we won't have to wait very long for that, because joekent is already scheduled to appear on the Sean Ryan show on Monday. So instead of rushing to judgment right now, why not wait and hear what he actually has to say? And like I said earlier, I don't actually agree on his current stance on Iran. But I believe this. joekent deserves the chance to explain himself. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. And if he chose to step away from a position because he no longer agreed with it, that's not weakness. That's integrity. Because what we're seeing right now is a divided society reacting to incomplete information time and time again. We're letting narratives drive our thinking instead of letting truth drive our conclusions. And we care more about being first than right, and our already held beliefs reinforced. And that is dangerous. So here's the takeaway. Step back. Don't let your confirmation biases make the decision for you. Wait for the facts. Wait for the intelligence, and let the noise settle. We don't have all the information yet, and that takes time, because usually the first things that get released are political posturing and propaganda. And every political party does this. And until we do, anything right now is just pure speculation. We can do better than this, because if we can't do that, we're not using our critical thinking anymore, and we're just choosing sides. Strength isn't built in comfort. It's built through repetition, through discipline, through showing up when it would be easier not to. For me, training has always been about pushing limits, becoming stronger, faster, and more capable every single day. But the gear you wear matters. Barbell apparel was built for athletes who move, who train, who refuse to compromise between performance and style. Clothes that move with you, built for strength, built for durability, and built for the grind. Whether it's the gym, the track, or the everyday mission, train hard, move freely, live disciplined. Barbell apparel. Use code StoicViking25 and step into the gear that's built for you, how you actually train. Do you want to improve your performance in and out of the gym, both physically and cognitively, but you don't want to deal with annoying powdered creatines? Try Tasty Gains creatine gummies. They're by far the best tasting and most effective creatine gummies I've tried yet. Use my discount code Viking. If you got value out of this, please like and subscribe and comment. Doing so really helps me to make more videos like this, where I keep getting to break down topics without the noise, without the bias, but real perspective and pure analysis, with the goal to always try to get as close to the truth as I can.